back to the purpose of tonight and one of the key reasons that we have the very lovely David Croucher on the line is because, as I mentioned, when we were doing the beginning sessions, lots of you said, well, you know, I don't know how to do Google Alerts. We talked about the importance of them, but many, many people had no idea how to set them up, how to find even where they lived on Google, or how to maximize them. So there's nobody better in the IT business than David. And the reason that I'm such a big fan of what he does is because not only is he a geek supreme, and I say that with all the love I can muster, but more importantly, David actually cut his teeth in a marketing environment. So oftentimes when you're dealing with online people, they're fantastic geeks and they can write coding and programs till the cows come home, but you ask them about marketing and they're like, I don't know, you know, they don't have a great understanding of marketing and key buying drivers for your customers and what motivates them and what sort of copy is going to move them from prospect through to client. David started in that marketing environment. So he brings a really unique skill set to what he does in the online world. He brings, first and foremost, a marketing approach to both his SEO and the websites that he builds for people that are designed to definitely take people from prospect to client. It's definitely designed to have them open their wallets and spend money with you, because he understands the marketing principles and the marketing fundamentals that need to come first. So I'm absolutely delighted that that David has agreed to share his knowledge with us. You can see him on the screen. There's a handsome little rooster. Recently married to the lovely Marina, and a great, great friend. So as I mentioned, just to give you a background of David, he cut his teeth on direct response marketing, and even while he was at uni, ever the entrepreneur, he started his own business helping people with their websites and, excuse me, they, you know, their websites and their SEO. So, you know, where most uni students go and work jobs at Coles or McDonald's, David actually started being an entrepreneur right from the get-go. So by the time he finished uni, he was already well established in his own business and thought, you know, stuff working for anybody else, I'm just going to ride my own pony. And I love that sort of courage and that commitment to making a difference for people, and David certainly does that. He's worked with some of the big names in the country, some of which you know, some of which you won't know because they are the behind-the-scenes guys. But I think one of the greatest alliances that David made very early in his career was to team up with the great Pete Godfrey, and you know what great mates Pete and I are. And just the fact that Pete put Dave through his paces kind of before going near him, and then, as Pete tends to do, and then ended up working so closely with him is a testament. Any of you who know Pete know that he seems like the knockabout larrikin that's friends with everybody, but in terms of getting into Pete's inner sanctum, it's you know, it's a very small inner sanctum. And so the fact that David is now an integral part of that is a real, you know, kudos to him. They really have generated hundreds of thousands of dollars for their clients simply by the joint muscle that they bring to both the marketing and the online world. So because the online world changes so rapidly, he has a real dedication to, as Pete would say, continually sharpening his saw. He remains at the cutting edge. He spends hundreds of thousands of dollars every year on his own education, making sure that he is at the leading edge of what is required to be successful in the online environment. He's got two companies, AustralianSEOcompany.com and also websites that sell.com.au, and they really do sell. So it gives me enormous pleasure to welcome him onto the call tonight so he can share his knowledge. Dave, welcome. Can you share with our beautiful Can-Do Wealth Circle community why Google Alerts are so crucial, not only to their publicity journey, but to their overall business and marketing journey?
All right. Good day, everyone. I hope everyone can hear me well. Kate, is this coming through all right?
Yeah, loud and clear, honey. It's perfect.
All right, lovely. That's good. So we can get started. Well, pretty much, look, Google Alerts, it's a funny little thing. It's actually really easy to set up, and I'm going to show you guys how to set it all up later in a minute. But really, the way that you want to use Google Alerts it pretty much comes down to three different things. And the first one is that you can stay up to date with specialized topics. So that's obviously to do with your business, anything to do around your business. You definitely want to stay on top of what's happening in the world and around your industry all the time, because if you're serious about your business, yeah, you want to be the expert. And to be the expert, you kind of need to know what's going on. So Google Alerts is perfect for that. The other way, and this is obviously ties into publicity, is that you can stay current with what's happening in the news about a specific topic or about your industry. And the other thing is that you can get notified about what other blogs, other people who have voices in your industry, people that are obviously influential in your industry. You can see what they say about a certain topic, so which would obviously be around your business. So that's really the three ways that you want to take advantage of Google Alerts.
Fantastic. It is so important. I mean, I think one of the things that we all were acutely reminded of at Pitch Perfect Publicity was what Eli said about the news cycle and how it has completely changed from being a once-a-day printed newspaper, which of course still exists, but over and above that, there's the news cycle of all of the online news and media that's released throughout the day and then is featured in the evening news and then is followed up with programs like A Current Affair and Today Tonight. So staying ahead of what's happening in your industry is crucial, because just imagine you put a Google alert for one of your competitors or somebody who is somebody who's of a similar thinking to you, and they make a comment on their blog that you then get notified about. You can instantly respond to that either with a media release or with more comments on that person's blog, or indeed a blog of your own, taking either an agreeing point of view or a contrary point of view. So that, imagine phoning one of the journalists and saying, hey, did you see the blog that Mia Friedman wrote on Mamma Mia today about co-sleeping? I just fundamentally disagree with co-sleeping, and here's why, and that's why we developed pillows to, have children be nurtured and have their head in the correct position when they sleep. And instantly you become seen as a leading expert because you are way on top of the news. You've got your finger on the pulse, you're up to date, and you can really position yourself as being at the leading edge of your industry. So to reinforce what Dave said, Google Alerts are absolutely vital.
Yeah, and Kate, also, so that's kind of the functional side of Google Alerts. But if you start to see, okay, so that's the functional side to stay on top of things, but you can actually use it in a strategic way as well. And what I mean is we're talking about marketing now, and you can use it to come up with website content for your website. So obviously on your website you want to have, you want to position yourself as the expert, and you want to write about topics that people are interested in. So once your Google Alerts come up, and maybe your competitor may be doing something, and you know exactly that what they're doing is not perfect, or it's not the best way of doing things, and you have a very superior way of either delivering that service or your products is very superior to your competitor, you can actually write a commentary about that other, whatever that other business published on their website. So you can get ideas for your own website content, and we in the SEO industry, we call this content curation. So we pretty much just write a little bit of a, so you kind of become the journo, where you kind of write a little article about what the other people are saying and why you don't agree with that, and then straight away, yes, you can write a press release about that. That gives you an edge again about something to write about. But the other thing that you can use this for is that you can stay notified about what people may be saying about your business. So online reputation is very important. So you want to kind of stay on top of this stuff, so you just know what the market's saying about your business, and that way you can start engaging with your customers online as well. So that's a really good way to engage. And the last one that I've got here when I wrote my notes up was that you can actually piggyback onto content and news stories. And I know this is a great strategy that Kate, if she hasn't yet, will be teaching you at upcoming events. And you can pretty much just ride the wave, but you can get in early because you're hearing about this stuff before anyone else picks it up. You're hearing it as soon as it gets published to the internet. So very cool way to piggyback news stories.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, and I think I've shared the example of doing exactly that in relation to something that Heather did just after the Gonski report. There was a piece in the Herald Sun talking about how Gonski was saying basically the education department can't fund the education that's required, and schools more and more are going to need to look to the philanthropic sector to find white knights that help give kids things that the education system and department just simply cannot. And so I said to Heather, quickly phone the education writer and say, oh my God, I've become a white knight and I didn't even realise it. And she did, and so began a relationship with the education writer because she was right on top of it. So now they phone her for commentary on education, as they just did on Saturday. They were doing a piece about exam season and how kids prepare for exam season, and they wanted education experts to comment on that. Who did they phone? Not Ghostbusters. They actually phoned me to get in touch with Heather. So that's the way that they wanted her. They wanted that expert voice that she brings to the table. That is the independent voice of education reform in this country. So very cool.
Yeah, really good stuff.
Very cool. Okay, so Dave, you very kindly, and I know that you don't usually do this, you very, very kindly offered to actually walk people through step by step how they go about setting up a Google alert for their business. So are you ready to do that?
Yeah, it's easy, and I don't. It's going to be funny because this demonstration is only going to take like a minute or two, and I'll walk everyone through it step by step. But it's really easy to do. So it's probably this kind of stuff. It's probably another thing where the SEO industry has kind of made it a smoke and mirror thing, where they try and make you pay money for it. Whereas it's really easy to set this up yourself. So I'm going to try and demyst all that today. So it's going to be good.
Fantastic. So what we're going to do now is just change over the presenter. So we'll change me from the presenter over to Dave, and then Dave will be able to share his screen with you.
All right.
So now we're going to be, Dave, if you just show your screen. Beautiful. Here we are. Gorgeous.
All right, here we are. So, all right, well, I'll just take the I'll take the chair real quick, and I'll run you guys through this. As I said, you can set this up in a few seconds, but I'll run you through exactly how to do it all step by step. So, the way to set up Google Alerts is you need to go to www.google.com, and then you go /alerts, and that'll take you to this page. Now, the good thing about this is that you don't need to have a Google account if you don't want to. You can if you want to. And the only difference that's going to make is that it's going to select one of the email addresses that are attached to your account in the bottom here, and you don't have to fill it in yourself. But apart from that, there's no real difference. So all you have to do is go to google.com/alerts. Now, the first spot, what you want to put in here is pretty much what you want to search about. So one important topic for me, so I'll just use myself as a quick case study so you guys get the kind of thinking that goes behind this, okay? So one of the big things in the SEO world is that Google's constantly updating their algorithm. Now, obviously, as an SEO expert, that's something that I need to stay on top of. And as soon as it happens, I want to know all about it so I can teach my high-end clients what they need to do, and also the services that we provide that we can adjust them so they continue to get results. So what I do, I simply type in here SEO updates. So that could be one of the search queries that you write in there, or you write Google updates. That's another way to search for it. So as you saw, the first one didn't get anything, but Google updates, that brought you something up. Now, what you've got to realize is that you've got to really narrow in on what you want to search for. So as you saw here, Google updates, that could be anything from Chrome updates, from Android updates, to here's the Hummingbird one. So that's the latest SEO update. So what that just showed me is that I really need to narrow in on this, and the way to do that is I'll just write in Google algorithm update. And that'll bring in, okay, Google Hummingbird algorithm update, things no strings, how Google's new Hummingbird algorithm. So those are the latest results of this. Now that's going to give me the exact Google alerts that I want sent to me, and it's not going to bring in different topics.
Okay, Dave, so if I can just, on behalf of we've had some questions, a question come through. So if when you put the terminology in that first search query, the right-hand box fills up with 20,000 different results, are you saying that, oh gosh, that means I probably need to refine it a bit more, because otherwise I don't want people to be intimidated and go, shit, I don't have any time for that. So are you saying that if it's too broad on the left and you get a massive amount of results on the right, that you've not been tight enough with your keyword alerts?
Okay, it depends. So with if you're getting a lot, so as you can see here right now, I'm only getting 2 because I've really drilled down on this. Okay, this is the exact result that I want. However, this isn't a mainstream topic, so there's not going to be thousands and thousands of people commenting on this. Now, if I was to type in something with politics or something, there's going to be a lot more blogs. There's going to be a lot more people commenting about that. So you may get a lot more results. So you've got to look at that as well. So if you're operating in a very niche market, you're not going to get a heap of results. But if you're in a very broad market, and especially if you're dealing in a business-to-consumer market, you're going to find that you're going to get a lot more results. Okay?
Right, so should we, to refine the results down, like could you just pop in there children's pillows?
Yep. Okay, so here we go. So we've got 5 different results. So decorative pillows, kids' bed pillows from Amazon, bio children's bed pillows from Bed Bath & Beyond, organic children's pillows. So as you can see, it's usually not going to bring up thousands of results anyway. But this kind of gives you, okay, so this kind of gives me the general overlook of what's going on in the internet at this point in time in regards to this Google alert. So now you can kind of drill down. So this only takes a couple of seconds. So you see the first one, you can kind of tell from the headline here what it's going to be about anyway. So you don't have to, it's not going to take hours and hours to sift through this information. It's pretty much just giving it a quick look. Is that relevant? Is it not? Nah, okay, let's drill into that a little bit more.
Okay. So it's a bit of a trial and error thing is what you're saying, so that we can refine.
Yeah, a little bit at the start. Yeah, definitely, a little bit at the start. And the other thing to kind of help that is that if there's a little bit of a trick that I've learned along the way, is that if I'm typing in children's pillows, Google tends to bring up a lot of information that could be related to children and that could be related to pillows, but not necessarily children pillows. So to overcome that, simply put 2 inverted commas in there. So if you're getting a lot of results, if you put two inverted commas, it's going to drill down on that exact phrase rather than those than each word singularly. So if I was just if I just wanted information on SEO, obviously that's one word. So see there's heaps there. But if I was just type in search engine optimization like that, it's not just yeah, see, it's 2 results, so it really drilled down on what's important about that at the moment. Okay?
Yep. Fantastic.
Great stuff.
Fantastic.
All right, so we might move on, and we'll go with okay. So I'll go with the algorithm updates. So Google algorithm updates, and I'll put my inverted commas around it. So I've drilled down on these 3. They're going to be the most relevant ones. Now, in the next section here, you can figure out what kind of results you want delivered to you. So as you know, Google has a lot of different properties. As you can see up here, you've got search, which is the search engines. You've got, which is like the worldwide search engine. Then you've got images, you've got maps, you've got Google Play, which is all the apps. You've got YouTube, which is also owned by Google. You've got the Google News channel, and then Gmail and all the other stuff. Now, what you can actually drill down to is that you only want to bring in results from news articles or from blogs or video, discussions or books. So if I click on that, only news, only these updates related to news, so anything that gets fed into Google News gets delivered to me. Okay?
So could you, can you have can I just ask, can you have multi result types? So can you get them from news and
Definitely
blogs,
can.
or would you need to do that? Would you need to set up this twice, or can you, is there a way that you could comma them or something?
Yeah, at the moment, Google doesn't allow you to do it, so you can either go everything or drill in on these ones. But at the end of the day, you can hit news here, you hit here how many times, and hit create alert, and bang, it's created. Then you go to the next one, blogs, do it again, and it's created, and it'll deliver you all the details. So yeah, you can do it. It doesn't take long at all. So just do it singly or do it everything. But just talking on this topic, so with this kind of stuff, so obviously with the news, the strategy of jumping on top of the news and piggybacking it is really good for using that channel here. Now for blogs, it's really good to create other content for your website as well, okay? So if you hear one person talking about a specialized topic in your niche on their blog, you can now, you can engage with that blog, but you can also kind of write a commentary about that other blog, and you can start creating a voice and your view based on what they said. So that's what this one's really good about. With video, the way I use this, if I find a really good video, again, I'll embed it on my website and I'll write a small commentary about it, why I think this is good or why I think this is bad, or if it's relevant to my target market, put it in there. So that's what video is really good for. Now, discussions, that's where you really want to start engaging with people. So if people are having discussions on question and answer forums, on different other forums, that's where you start using the discussions one, and you can really start interacting with your market. And a great one of this is also for content on your website. So there's all these discussions. Then you write an answer to that discussion. You go back to that forum and say, hey guys, I see you talking about this stuff. I've just written a great article which pretty much answers all your questions. And by the way, here's a link to that article. Boom. All these people that are seeing these discussions can now click on your link, go back to your website. So not only are you creating content on your website, you've got links pointing back to your website, which is really good for SEO, and you're driving traffic, qualified traffic, people that are interested in what's going on with your industry, people that are interested in your products and services, clicking onto your link and going to your website. Free traffic, free customers getting, potential customers getting delivered to your website. And obviously, if you've followed,
sorry, I was just going to say, and if you've built the website, the potential customers become customers really quickly.
Well, that's exactly it. Like you said at the start, if you follow the stuff that Kate teaches, the stuff that I've kind of cut my teeth on and been implementing in my life and in my business, and you build a website that sells, where you actually have lead generation stuff on your website, so they're getting good information from you straight away for free for that question and answer. But then you're probably going to offer more information if they give up their email address or something like that. And then you're going to start building that almighty tribe, which is Pete Godfrey calls that. He calls it his tribe. So these people that are on his list that he communicates with and he starts building a relationship with. So very powerful stuff there.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Awesome. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No, that's all right. That's all right. You jump in whenever you want. It's just a little bit delayed sometimes, so I'm ready into my next sentence. But it's all good.
I thought you were going to say, you jump in whenever you want, especially if you want to tell them how great I am.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, keep on my on. It's all good. No, well, yeah, and I'll just finish up on this one. So books, pretty much Amazon. There's new books been released all the time. So again, if you want to stay up to date with your topics, if you want to see what other experts in the industry are what they're saying, but you don't want to wait for the book to come around, or if you want to hear about it first, pretty much, you just put all the books in, and they'll give you all the updates of when books are being published. And books are going on Amazon and people are starting to release their stuff. And again, that can be something for you to actually write a review about that book. So again, you're writing great content on your website, and if that gets indexed and people start picking it up, if they write in book review, so it's really easy to kind of to rank for these phrases because not many people are going to be competing for these terms. So if a new book, obviously not something like Shades of Grey, so 50 Shades of Grey, so if you're trying to compete for that, it's pretty hardcore. But if you're in more of a niche market, and in an author, a respected author has just released something, you can just write pretty much book title, review, and that'll rank pretty quick if you've got a good review on that on your website. Okay, so does that all make sense, do you think?
Absolutely. Now, if anybody has any questions before David clicks off this screen, or you'd like him to show you a search query for one of your key phrases or your keywords, just put up your hand. I think, David, you'll need to manage the hand.
Yep, that's right. Well, if they just write in the questions, I'll just go through these last two things.
Yeah,
yep,
great.
Too easy.
So does anyone have any questions?
Cool. So I'll just wait for the questions to go in, and I'll just quickly run through these last two things because that's the last things before you can start receiving the alerts. Okay?
Sure.
So in this next box here, you can pretty much tell Google how often you want the stuff delivered. Now, if you're wanting stuff, if you want to jump on this stuff like in news and you want to jump on it as soon as it happens, you need to set it here as it happens. Now, if you're just looking for general topics that you can write about and write website content about, I would probably suggest once a day or even once a week, depending how often you want to write stuff. So in those kind of terms, so if you wanted to use this as a strategy to jump on top of news topics, you want to get it delivered as it happens. And then you can actually specify how many results you want as well. So this is probably going to take you a little bit of just kind of trialing and testing again. And again, it depends on your niche, how big your niche is on the internet, how many people are actually talking about this stuff. So I usually put in only the best results, so they're going to be the most relevant. So leave it at that, and it'll be easy. Now, lastly, if you're signed in with your Google account, it'll have your Google email address right here. But as I said earlier on, you don't need that if you don't want to. So what you can do is you can put in your email address here in. So I'll put that in, info@australianseocompany.com, and all you have to do then is create the alert, and only the best results will get delivered to me every day from now on at this time of the day. So once a day, it'll get delivered to me. And that's how easy it is to set up a Google Alert. So as you see, you can set this up within a minute. So you put in your search term, you tell them exactly what you want. If I put everything, you tell them how often, you tell them what you want delivered, all results are only the best ones, and then you put in your email address and you create your alert. And as I said earlier on, if you want to get specific ones, you're just creating more alerts.
Great. And how do they determine, when you say only the best, how do Google determine which are the best? Are they the ones that have the most clicks, or how do they determine only the best?
It'll be the ones that are ranking the highest and the ones that are most relevant to this search term here.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Okay, so that's how to determine it. Yep.
Yeah. Beautiful.
All right. So
beautiful.
I'll just see. I don't think I can see any of the questions.
That's okay. We can manage the questions. So if anybody has a question, you can either put up your hand, and we can try and unmute and see if it's not too echoey. Otherwise, just type your questions and we'll get to them in turn. So does anyone have any questions of David and the Google Alerts, how to do them or how powerful they are? Doesn't look like it. Fantastic. You made it
as I said, it's
so
really easy.
David.
Yeah, it's really easy.
Yeah, that's unreal. That's really great. And, you know, I would be advising that you set up 2 for each key term that you wish to monitor. One that's news and as it happens, obviously, because we are in the publicity space. We want to be really proactive about that and get on that news cycle. And then one which is the same search results, but that might just be once a day or once a week. I think you really do need to do them both, because I want you staying at the cutting edge of your industry.
Yeah, great stuff.
Now, I think we have a question. I see. In terms of responding to the alerts, do we need to respond to them all? And I think they mean if we don't respond to them all, will they stop being sent? So I guess if you don't love the alert back, will the alert keep coming?
Okay.
Can you treat them mean and keep them keen, or do you have to love them up?
Yeah. No. Okay. So the way that alerts work is that, see this information here. Pretty much, you're going to get this information here sent to your email address every day. So Google doesn't care what you do with that information. That's totally up to you. So whether you click on that information, whether you comment on that information, Google doesn't care about that at all. All this service is for is to deliver that information to you on a daily basis all the time. So that's all the service is for. Whatever you do with it after that is up to you.
Yeah, cool. So did that answer the question? I'll just get that person to respond. Does that answer the... Yeah. Okay, great. Yes, that's very clear. Thank you. Awesome. Let me see. Are there any other questions? Just let me refresh my screen. Okay. Should we put the link of the alert on our website? Like, should we? I think that they're talking about, should we be referencing that link on our website, or just commenting on it? I would be inclined to say, if you reference and use the link, is there a risk then that you're going to take the traffic away from your site? I would think not to put that link in. Would you agree?
Okay, so there's different ways to go about this. Now, I'll try and kind of tackle this one and make it as simple as possible to understand. The way that you're talking about content creation, and what we call it in the internet space is content curation. So the way it works is that you write a quick intro about what the other person has mentioned, then you pretty much copy and paste what they said. We tend to give them a link back because we're using their content, and then we write a little commentary about it. Now, you don't have to do that. That's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is just say, we've heard people saying stuff around this on the internet, and then you can kind of mention them. But if you don't copy and paste their content, I wouldn't give them a link. Okay, so because you've got to realize, okay, you're driving this traffic to your website now. You want to convert that traffic as much as possible, and don't send them away again to your competitors. So if you're paraphrasing and you just want to create content quick, I tend to give away a link, just if it's good stuff. But I wouldn't do it if it was a direct competitor with me. So when I would give away links and drive traffic to other places, if that kind of furthers their decision making about my product. Does that make sense?
Sure. So if it was an article about SEO rip-offs, for example, and it was on Anthill Magazine, for example, you would include the link to Anthill Magazine if they were writing a horror story about SEO rip-offs, because it shows you in a good light. Because in the article, presumably, you would say, top 5 questions to ask your SEO people, and if they can't answer that, then ditch them, and it's only the ethical ones like ourselves who survive and thrive.
Exactly right. That's exactly how I do it. So if it's a voice that's not trying to sell your prospect but educate, and you've got no risk of them actually doing business with you, you might as well send them to the link, so that you've got nothing to lose there. Now, it goes on a base by base, like case by case basis.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, are there any more questions? No. Fantastic. Beautiful. So I might take back over the screen.
Too
Dave,
easy.
unless there was anything else that you wanted to show.
No, I'm good.
No? Okay, so I will...
Can you take it back? Yep, too easy.
Screen. Yep, beautiful. So have you guys got my screen back?
Yep.
Cool. Beautiful. So there you have it. We talked in the publicity plans about how important it is to have the Google Alerts set up, and I think there were only 2 people out of the group who knew how to do that. So that's why I knew that this was an area of education that I wanted, a gap that I wanted to plug, and there's no one better to talk about online and SEO stuff than Dave. So I'm really, really very grateful, Dave, for your time.